subject line, and we'll also have the numbers in the website listed.
Thank you, Colonel. The last speaker today will be Special Agent in Charge from the FBI, Ted Dox.
Thank you, Mayor.
Duke Energy is being sued for the climate crisis.
Top-tier executives at Duke Energy Corporation have misled all of us.
Now, Duke plans the nation's largest methane expansion.
Really condemning all of these communities to more and more damages. It's an emergency to change course as quickly as possible and to push Duke Energy away from this fossil fuel path.
So why won't Governor Stein push Duke Energy? Take action at StopDukeEnergy.com.
Meticulous investigation. Tonight, as Colonel Perez stated, we are renewing our call for the public's assistance in seeking any and all information about the shooter. No amount of information is too small or irrelevant. We are also here to announce the FBI is now offering a reward of $50,000 for information that could lead to the identification, the arrest, and the conviction of the individual responsible, who we believe to be armed and dangerous. We're asking everyone in Rhode Island and beyond to review the new images of the suspect, share them on social media, and come forward if you have any information. You can contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI or the tips provided by the police department at 401-272-3121, or you can also provide tips electronically and submit it to tips.fbi.gov. We're also doubling down on our efforts to obtain images and video of the shooter. Those can be submitted online at fbi.gov/Brown University shooting. Our agents and analysts are fully embedded with our law enforcement partners, including Providence and Rhode Island State Police. We are tracking down leads, canvassing neighborhoods, and developing intelligence. And right now, our evidence response teams remain on campus processing the scene. And folks from our lab from Quantico are documenting the trajectories of the bullets to reconstruct the scene. It's painstaking work, and we are asking the public to be patient as we continue to run down every lead so we can get victims, survivors, and their families, and all of you, the answers you deserve. Thank you.
Mayor, can you tell Chief Oscar to say a statement in Spanish, please, for Spanish media? Thank you.
Gracias. Sí, verdaderamente estamos acá esta noche para demostrarles los highlights del progreso que hemos hecho en el departamento, y quiero identificar que es una colaboración del Departamento de la Policía de Providence, el personal de este departamento, también incluye las policías del Estado, obviamente los federales, partners de nosotros, como el FBI, el HSI, el ATF, el IRS y también la oficina de los Marshals también están incluidos. Acabamos de mostrar 3 videos los cuales depictan lo que es esta persona que estamos buscando, y le pedimos al público que realmente, si ven estas imágenes y lo conocen a la persona, que llamen a los números que le acabamos de dar, y te los puedo dar cuando terminemos acá, para que ellos nos den esa información y así nosotros tener la posibilidad de identificar a esta persona y traerlo a la justicia.
Dan, go ahead.
Hi, Mayor Dan Jr. from NBC10. I just want to ask a question. These videos and images were actually very good that you just showed. They were from the day before, and I'm just wondering, why didn't we release these a little bit earlier? Did you just get them today? And can you explain? Because that's going to be a question from viewers.
Of course, and that's a great question, Dan, and I'll tell you that it takes time. I've mentioned it before, that investigations are very complex. And when you're doing canvassing areas, or when you're developing evidence, sometimes you get directed to another direction, and then that's what makes you go back to certain areas and continue to investigate. Here we are at the 49th hour, but I got to commend the dedication and professionalism of all of us that I mentioned earlier, because it's that passion to bring someone to justice that led us to get this info that we got today to be able to provide to you.
Colonel, you still leading the investigation?
One second.
Sorry.
These images and videos, are you all going to distribute them to the media? Can you distribute them?
And
then you are.
So, yes.
Mr. Attorney General, yesterday you made it clear you didn't have an image of this person's face. Now these images show you do have this person's face. Is this going to be key in solving this case, which you seem very dedicated in doing?
Yeah, look, I think, as I've said multiple times today, that these investigations are like threads that you pull on a garment, and some of them you pull and the garment doesn't open up, and other ones you pull and the garment comes undone. I think when you go out and get a better image of the person's face, that can only help the public help us identify this person and confirm that they're the right person when that time comes. The prosecutors today have been working with the law enforcement agents and police officers to advance this investigation, and I would describe today's work as making steady progress to identifying the person that we saw in the video that was released yesterday, and the sooner we can identify that person, the sooner we can, I think, blow this case open. But that's work that has to happen in the next 24 to 36 hours.
Mayor,
What led you to believe that there was no further threat to the community today? You mentioned yesterday that there was no additional evidence. Can you just expand upon that to?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same as yesterday, which is ever since 4:05 on Saturday, which was when the first call came into ground. There's been no new, credible, specific threat anywhere in the Providence community.
With respect,
having anything.
Mayor, there was no threats made prior to the shooting, so how can people feel safe with that information?
The way in which we are trying to reassure our residents is through a noted, visible police presence throughout the community. It is going to be hard for my city to feel safe going forward. This has shaken us. That will be true tomorrow. I suspect that'll be true the day after the general convicts someone. This is a process to restore a sense of safety. But we're going to take those step at a time. And the first step in what we're trying to provide today, and which we did well with the assistance of our neighbors, and we're grateful for it, is a noted, visible police presence to provide some confidence for families that are taking their kids to school, people who have to get to work a shift. I spent lunchtime today walking down Thayer Street, and for our guests, Thayer Street is the commercial district right adjacent to campus. And I talked to one of the women at Antonio's, which some of you know is a pizza by the slice joint, and she said, I didn't want to come to work today, but I needed to work. I needed to take the shift, and that's a very real thing happening in our community right now. But she noticed and she appreciated the fact that there were patrolmen walking up and down Thayer Street. It made her feel a little bit better. And when she comes to work tomorrow, I hope she feels a little bit better after that. That's where we are right now in terms of restoring a sense of safety to the community. And that's what we're going to continue to try to do.
Mayor,
Phil, go ahead.
Mayor, two questions.
Yeah.
To that point, a lot of people scared right now, a lot of people confused right now in the city. Can you speak to them directly, summarizing what you just said or any other thoughts from the heart?
Yeah.
Your take right now, is Providence safe?
Yeah. Providence remains a very safe city, and Providence receives really the best law enforcement, I believe, in the country. And today, especially at this moment, it's being augmented by great professionals of other Rhode Islanders, the state police, and others, and our federal partners. But my sense of the community right now is that this is starting to get very real and very personal. And I heard that today. I heard that last night at the vigil. We're all 2 degrees of separation from one another. And now people are starting to share stories with one another of, oh, my neighbor was nearby, and oh, my friend's kid was supposed to go to that review session but didn't. I'm starting to hear those stories, and I think all the Rhode Islanders in the room are starting to hear those stories. I heard that story again today. One of our customers is one of the teachers, and so it's starting to get very personal for our community, which is hard. And that's, I think, where we are sort of emotionally in the process. But we're here from one another. That's the scary side. The upside is that this is a tight-knit community that looks out for one another. The governor was there. All the officials who are up here with me tonight were with us at Lippert Park last night. It was 10 degrees. It was loosely organized. And yet hundreds of people came out because they wanted to be with one another. They were hugging their neighbors. They were crying, and they were offering each other support. So this community will heal from this. We will move forward. But that doesn't make light of, and I'm certainly not making light of the fear and anxiety that persists. But the only way we're going to move forward through it is one step at a time, and today's one of those steps.
Colonel,
Yeah.
do you have any idea what kind of firearm was used in this shooting? And do you know how many rounds were fired? Do you have any details of that nature?
It was several rounds. It was a small caliber, actually 9mm firearm was used. And it was several rounds into it. And obviously, as we all know, the casualties and the injured people, it's just terrible. So, yes.
Colonel, I have two questions.
Yes.
Who's the lead investigator on this now? And secondly, what do you believe that a person of interest was doing in that video and those pictures that you obtained?
Yeah, so the first question, the lead is, obviously we're taking the lead, but we couldn't do this job without the assistance, as I mentioned, collaboration of all the different agencies and municipalities. This is a team effort. This is important to us. As the mayor stated, it has shocked the city, and a lot of people are concerned. So this is an effort to put handcuffs on somebody, and it takes a whole team to do that.
My second question is, what do you think he was doing? Was he staking out the area? Because this was the day before the shootings, correct?
Correct. And so,
What do you think he was doing? Was it hours before or days before?
So it was a few hours before, and I'll tell you that at this point, that's all we have. So it was a few hours before. What he was doing, we'll be able to find out further once we come to investigate.
Colonel, with respect to
John DePietro, Road Patrol Life. Can you talk about, is it unusual to change the direction of an investigation as it's going on?
That's a great question, John. I think that all detectives throughout this nation and in the world understand that when you're investigating a case, it takes different paths. You start somewhere, you start here, and all of a sudden something else pops off, and you are going in a different direction. And that's what happens. It's complex. And at the end of the day, you have to investigate. You have to pull every rock. You have to look at every video. You have to examine evidence. You have to check ballistics. It just takes a lot of work. You have to interview witnesses, and sometimes that takes you to a whole different path. And as a police officer and a detective, you have to make sure that you don't get into that tunnel vision in order to be able to get right answer. So yeah, they do change. Go ahead.
Are you concerned that the more time passes, it'll be harder to make an arrest?
I'll tell you,
It's been a couple days.
every minute counts. Every minute counts. But what doesn't stop is the dedication and professionalism of this department as well as our partners.
Do you have any reason to believe that any of the victims, whether the victims who died or the others, were targeted by this shooter, or that he was just shooting randomly indiscriminately?
That's all part of the investigation, Steph. Yeah, so we'll continue to investigate
And then
further.
you also explained the FBI today was searching in the bushes and kicking around the snow, or moving the snow on Waterman Street. We have known since Saturday that the potential suspect walked down Waterman Street. It was in the first video. Why would you be now looking in the bushes for something on Waterman Street 2 days later after it snowed?
So I just answered John the same question on how investigations, they turn and lead you in a different direction. We might have used all our energies in the first few days to investigate something, and here we are now heading back to that same place to continue to investigate, and that's why you saw that, because the investigations change on a daily basis.
So the travel of the 911 call or emergency calls that came in, when the first 911 calls to come in, were those dispatched by Brown University Police or Providence Police?
It was dispatched by the 911 center, and yes, we responded immediately within minutes. You saw the Providence Police cruiser pulling up.
So Providence is the investigator on this from the beginning?
That's correct.
Have you received any leads or indication on whether this was personally motivated, political, or otherwise? Are there any threats to Brown that they've turned over that would give us an indication of why this might have happened?
It's a great question, and that's something that we're all asking ourselves, and we'll continue to investigate to be able to get that answer.
Do you have reason to believe that this person is no longer in the community? Because can you continue to try to reassure the public that they are safe, but you also just said that this person you believe is armed and dangerous, so how can both be true?
Well, yeah, right, and that's something that's unknown, but like the mayor stated, I'll tell you that we have enhanced enforcement in that area. We have, Steph stated earlier, we have a lot of officers in the area, so in that sense, it's going to be safe. But however, as well, I just want to remind the community that our priority in law enforcement and in the city is to keep our constituents safe, keep them informed, and to keep them committed, to understand that we're a professional, we're dedicated, we're going to put somebody in handcuffs. and we're going to continue to do this job. So I
But do you
want
have reason to believe that they are no longer in this community? This
that's
person?
something that we're continuing to investigate.
Colonel Perez, just real quick, Tom Quinlan, WPRL. On the trajectory of where this guy went from the videos that you saw, where is the last place that you would, you have a clear video of seeing him? Is it like, are you still getting video from houses in that area? And, you know, Colonel Weaver, just real quick, in terms of the state's response, how much enforced patrol, we know about the enforced patrol in Providence, but are you putting throughout the state to keep the highways, you know, keep an eye on the highways?
We have increased our patrols throughout the state, and we will respond accordingly to any requests for additional assistance. This is a collaborative effort, not only from our uniform division, but also our detective bureau is embedded here with Providence and our federal partners, and we will not stop until we find out who the suspect is and bring them to justice.
Question for you said that the video was taken hours before. Can you talk about how?
I just want to clarify something because it seems that we're a little confused as far as the video itself says 2 p.m. It was the day off, 2 hours prior.
So where?
2 p.m.
So where's
based
the
on
last
the
house that
pictures.
you actually have video
Let
from?
me just finish with that. Go ahead.
Thanks, Tim. Where's the last video that you actually have video from in that
It's
area?
it's in the vicinity of Hope Street between Benevolent and Mendes.
And that's before the shooting?
That's correct, yes.
2 hours, right?
Yeah, 2 hours prior.
My turn, Bill.
Dan.
Tom, this video that you just released, more than anything, is key to wrapping to this case, okay? We have a closer picture of his face, we have a closer picture of his body. Based on that and witness interviews, do you have a new description of the person of interest now? Because he looked like a guy just walking around, you know, the neighborhood. Is there a new description you can give us?
There is, and it will be on that poster that we're going to be releasing on the images, and the height, weight, and things of that nature are all posted on that.
You think he lives in the area?
It's something that we're investigating there. Dime.
Desde ayer se han filtrado a la prensa
Sí.
el nombre, la fotografía y hasta la casa de la persona de interés que estaba bajo custodia.
Sí.
Si quiere responde esta pregunta en los dos idiomas.
Sí.
Hoy habían algunos medios haciéndose eco de que había una segunda persona de interés en custodia. Este no es el caso porque no he escuchado absolutamente nada en esta conferencia que se refiera a eso. ¿Me puede usted decir cuánto o cómo están manejando ustedes la información dentro del departamento y cómo se está filtrando a la prensa?
Claro.
Porque esto crea confusión, obviamente.
Sí, sí. So the gentleman just asked a question about how information is getting filtered into the community and out from us. And the question was that past few days an individual was identified and was detained. And he was a person of interest. We had him here. He's asking, how does that get out to the media? How does that happen? My answer to that is I have no control over what's being released or circulated in the media. Speculations that occur. What we can control is what we give you here. And as I was speaking earlier, that's why it's important for you to get the information from us. So, mi respuesta que le hago es lo que pasa es que no me doy cuenta cómo se filtra esa información al medio de comunicación. Es importante que la comunicación gane.
Need power you can count on? Predator delivers. From generators and power stations to engines, pumps, and more. Predator offers the best value in portable power. Built to handle any job, big or small. Stop by a Harbor Freight today, where our full lineup is ready when you are. Predator. Power through anything. Only at Harbor Freight.
Saturday's incident, a lot of neighbors couldn't get notification. What issues were going on there, and had that since been resolved?
Yeah, so residents in the city of Providence were notified in multiple ways, and certainly through all of your outlets, all official City of Providence social media outlets, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and we pushed out a 311 notice. If you are not, the 311 notification system in the City of Providence, you have to sign up for it in order to receive it. And so 311 notifications did go out. If you are a resident of the City of Providence and you are not receiving 311 notifications, we urge you to please sign up. You can do so at the city's website. 311 notices have continued to go out throughout this entire incident, including up as recently as today, this afternoon, to clarify a false report with regard to a report of shots fired, which was found to be unfounded. We sent out a push notification through 311 to reassure people because in this day and age, there's a lot of misinformation. A lot of people are getting reports through non-official channels and are getting anxious as a result of it. And so 311 notifications are working fine, but you have to register for it. And you have to opt in for text messages. If anyone needs assistance for how to sign up for 311, if you are not tech savvy or if you are having problems, you can call the phone number 311, and we have staff available who will help register you. For all of our community, please know that there are always bilingual individuals to take those phone calls.
Mr. Attorney General, you were on CNN this morning talking about Mr. Attorney General, you were on CNN this morning talking about the person that you spoke, the person of interest from yesterday was here. We have not heard that here today. Can you talk about, is that person of interest still here in the state? Who was he? Was he from Wisconsin? Just,
Yeah, I think, as I said last night, for those of you who were here, I thought it was really unfortunate that this person's name was leaked by somebody.
Is he clear?
Well, let me finish my answer. Was leaked by, excuse me?
Why you finish the answer? You just answer this question.
No, I haven't finished it yet, Ronaldo.
You always come up with the same answer.
So I'm going to finish it. So, the person who was held, it was unfortunate that his name got leaked, because it's one of the reasons why we use words carefully, and detaining someone because they're a person of interest is different from having a person in custody that you're gathering evidence to charge. I mean, that's a place in an investigation that eventually you get to, but we weren't there with this individual. So it's hard to put that name, back in the bottle. He has been cleared. He is not a person of interest any longer. The investigation is now focused in another direction. But I want to clarify something the chief said. That doesn't mean that while part of the team was focused on him, other leads weren't being followed up on. What's critical here is that we reconstruct, and the police know this, our prosecutors are working with them. It's critical that we reconstruct this man's movements, both before and afterwards. And my hope is that we will eventually have that pattern. But when you ask staff why are they looking in particular areas, where he was and what his movements are developing as we obtain additional evidence. So that can't explain why people are looking somewhere today as opposed to 2 days ago. We're learning more about his movements as we gather additional video evidence. And that video evidence has been coming in at a much greater degree than it was 12, 24, 36 hours ago. Why, you ask? Some people were away for the weekend. Some of these places were businesses. So what the team is doing, there are a bunch of teams doing different things. Exploiting electronic evidence, exploiting physical evidence, meaning forensic evidence from the crime scene, canvassing the neighborhoods. And those are the threads that when you pull them, will open this case up. And that has been true over the course of my career, and I'm confident it'll be true again here.
General.
Yeah, go ahead, Nolan. I'll get out of the way.
I appreciate it. And this kind of follows up on what Colonel Perez said about, to the general public to use official Providence Police channels, be it YouTube or whatever. Are we doing a good job here? Is the media doing a good job in the ultimate goal right now of trying to locate this person?
Yeah, look, I think part of what's important about these briefings, I give the mayor great credit for doing them, is to help push out information in a case like this to the press and the public to help us solve this crime. That's potentially what it'll take here.
Mr. Mayor, I want to go back to Brown University.
Yeah.
Okay? There's been a lot of questions. I've heard from a lot of parents today. And it goes back to the question about the alarm and that was installed in 2007. That in an active shooter location, it sends off a notice and tells people what to do. That never went off. I'm wondering, what is Brown's answer? And perhaps even just as important, why isn't Brown here today?
As for the decision to activate the Brown alarm, that's a question for Brown. I believe it was asked of the chief of the Brown Police Department the other day. You'd have to follow up with him. Okay. This is not a decision that the City of Providence or any of the other law enforcement partners that you see behind me can trigger that alarm. I don't know the answer to that. We continue to work very closely with Brown, and it is no lack of support, or there's nothing to read into the fact that they're not here today.
Do you have any concerns
we have
Brown?
Meaningful. We felt like there was meaningful updates to make with respect to the investigation, the video and photos that we shared today. But Brown is not a part of those updates, and so we have all of the relevant agencies who are working on this and where we are in this investigation today, and that's why who you see here is here.
Do you have any concerns about why Brown didn't have those sirens go off? Have you had those conversations with them?
Again, Brown has to answer that question, but it is clear that, and the Colonel mentioned this, and we've talked about it a couple times over the last 2 days, the police response to the initial call was swift, timely. We don't believe there was any, it could not have happened any faster than it did. And so I can't speak to, honestly don't know a lot about their alarm system, and you'd have to ask them about it. But in terms of our response, it was nearly immediately. There's a lot of presence in that area, and Brown PD responded very quickly.
In all due respect, Mayor, we can't ask Brown if they don't show up.
Well, you have their contact information, and I would encourage you to reach out. Please, straight back.
Maya Goodland with MS Now. Do you have any update on the victims who are still hospitalized? Have you spoken with any of them or their families?
I don't. There's no degrading of their condition, but I don't have the latest status of them. I've not spoken to them since yesterday, although I know other people have, and we're happy to try to get you an update for our next.
John says that Brown is to blame here, saying that the onus of this tragedy is on the school itself. Do you think that's a fair criticism? Do you disagree with what the president is saying in response to the shooting, sir?
Who's the question for? I'm sorry.
For Governor McKee.
Repeat the question, please.
President Donald Trump has said that Brown University is to blame for this shooting and saying it's the school's problem. Is that a fair criticism, or do you disagree with what the president says?
I don't think it's fair criticism.
Colonel, can you expand on that?
Why not? Because Brown University is not collaborating with you guys. You're lying to the press over here. They have facial recognition. We know that because they follow the students, they follow everybody in the neighborhood. Facial recognition. They need to release that data so everybody know who the guy is in video. We got the video Saturday. Why you guys release the video today?
I think I answered the question.
Listen,
Colonel, I would just...
John, please, just for a second. A couple things. First of all, Brown University and Brown Public Safety, Brown Police Department has been a close collaborator throughout this process.
That's not true.
I do not accept that criticism.
Oh, come on. We know that.
Secondly, everyone you see behind us, we've all been working for now 49 hours. We're tired. We're serious about the task at hand. I know all of you have been working very hard, and I suspect all of you are just as tired. The press has been a great partner in pushing out relevant, factual, timely information, and we are grateful for that. This crowd has grown a little bit over the last 48 hours, and I know that people are weary, and so I'm asking, please, for a little bit of patience and grace, and we have been fully transparent. We continue to answer your questions. We will continue to do so. But the best way to inform the public and to ask for their help is for these opportunities to not degrade into baseless accusations, and we will point them out when we hear them. John, go ahead, please.
Question to the Colonel. Colonel, we learned, you revealed that the shooter used the 9mm. Now there's a report the shooter yelled something right before his shot came in. Can you tell us what that was?
Yeah, it's a part of the investigation. Yeah, yeah.
Now the only reason I ask that though is, for instance, like with the Unabomber, his brother recognized the writing. So it's possible a friend or family member might recognize if the person said something that was significant.
Correct.
So that's why you don't, other than the 9mm, is there anything else inside that auditorium that you could tell us?
No, that's correct. Listen, like I said earlier, investigations will bring us to evidence that we need to collect in order to be able to prosecute.
But he did yell something.
With that being said, we're going to continue to collect evidence, and if it leads us to something to that nature that's going to be extremely helpful for us to identify somebody, we'll be the first ones to put it out.
Alex.
With how much time has elapsed at this point, do you have any evidence that indicates that this person is getting help, or are they a lone wolf in this situation?
Yeah, so we'll continue. Those are great questions, Alex, and I think that's something for us to continue to investigate. This is active and it's complex, and so that we may have an answer to that they by themselves, but that's not something that we have ruled out, and we won't do that. So.
Colonel, are you looking for both a living or a potentially deceased person of interest?
We don't rule anything out. Like I told you earlier, this is a complex situation. It's fluid, but we'll continue to do our job in order to be able to get those answers.
Did somebody actually yell?
You were describing the suspect, or the person you're looking for, as someone in his 30s. Another you said 20s. From what you've seen, the picture that you've seen, can you now, through FBI profiling that's been done, give us a better age and whether or not he has any connection at this point, 49 hours later, to that classroom, that lecture hall, and to the Brown University campus? Can you say that lecture hall was targeted? Because he didn't, we saw the video of him going around the neighborhood that you just showed us, but he didn't go anywhere else into that campus. So can you say that that classroom was targeted?
I'll tell you that what I can tell you is that this individual definitely targeted Brown University, because clearly that we're here speaking about that. And I can also tell you that obviously it's something that we're looking into as far as if there's anything else that he was targeting, but it's all open. Was there another question to that, Paul?
I asked you about the approximate age, because this is the first time we're seeing his face. And just like with the marathon bombers, when the authorities finally put those pictures out, within hours, those people came up. So now that for the first time the nation is seeing this image, frontal image of this suspect, what are you able to, and the SAC from Boston especially, what are you able to now determine?
And we have that, and they have been extremely helpful, and we're going to be able to provide that to you so that you can put it on your own websites.
But you have that right now.
Dan's got the last question, and then we're going to wrap it up.
All right, I want to ask two questions, if I could, Mayor. To follow up on John's question, did the suspect yell, like has been reported, and there's been some erroneous reporting, but did he yell when he came in the classroom? And how valuable have witness statements been from those who survived?
Listen, my heart goes out to the victims, it goes out to the families, and I'll tell you that their cooperation has been extremely helpful. And with that being said, we'll continue, and I'm going to respect the fact that, and I hope that they get better, and my heart and soul goes out to them. So.
Did he yell though? Did he say something?
That's something that we're investigating. We took statements. And
is there any audio from the scene? So any cell phones? There are a lot of cell phones there. Is there any audio?
We're gonna wrap it up here. For your planning purposes, we will continue to brief in this location until we say otherwise. We also